Hi, I'm Jake Flint. You're watching another great episode of ETX Rocks featuring Lucas Kelm.
From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX rocks, ETX rocks.
Hey guys, Boston Chris here with the #1 resource for independent music in Northeast Texas. It's the ETX ROCKS Show, episode number 294. And guys, we have a huge treat for y'all today. Now, this episode right here has taken me at least a year and a half to get it to fruition. Lucas works the graveyard shift, and it's just really difficult to get a Sunday with him available. And it finally happened. We're really, really stoked to have the one and only Lucas Kelm here in the ETX Rocks living room for the first time. It took 294 episodes, but here he is.
Yep, made it. I still got to go to work tonight after I leave here.
You're crazy. But I definitely appreciate the time and effort it takes to come out here. And Lucas did bring his guitar, so you guys are in for a huge treat. He's going to play a couple of songs for us today. Now, the first song is called Fireflies and Whiskey Bottles. Tell us a little bit about this song.
It's basically just a story. I guess it's mainly about just looking back on your life and the memories of your life, whether they're good or bad, looking back on them fondly.
Yeah.
Mainly is
and this is a positive Lucas Kelm song.
Kind of.
They do exist. They do exist, y'all.
Maybe the only one.
Yes.
No, there's another one.
There's another one.
Three.
I know he probably has hundreds of songs, guys, and we're really excited to talk with Lucas today. But check out this song. It's called Fireflies and Whiskey Bottles, live right here in the ETX Rocks living room.
Remember when you were just a little girl, dancing in the fields, flame red curls. You were young, you tore my world apart. An apple pie cooling on a windowsill, me and Tommy T were trying to steal. We got caught with both our hands painted red. These are the times that we look back at. Maybe we'll cry, maybe we'll laugh, maybe we'll do both for the sake of doing so. Amid my share of thieves and rats, gone this far I can't go back. That's something I thought that you ought to know. 10 years later when we grew up, we weren't tall but we sure were tough, getting in fights and breaking people's noses. Tommy T liked his booze. He's playing a game that he would lose. It's a game worth playing when you bet your life. These are the times that we look back and maybe we'll cry, maybe we'll laugh, or maybe we'll do both for the sake of doing so. Amid my share of thieves and rats, I've gone this far, I can't go back. That's something I thought that you ought to know. Now I'm old and Tom is dead. It's like the widow always said, you're raising hell, living life too fast. And I look back with a smile and a nod. Didn't stake much on Christ or God. I got faith in the way I've lived my life. Well, these are the times that we look back, yeah. Maybe we'll cry, or maybe we'll laugh. Maybe we'll do both just for the sake of doing so. Met my share of thieves and rats. Gone this far and I can't go back. That's something I thought that you ought to know. Well, that's just something I thought you should know.
All right, so we are back again. It's episode 294 with Lucas Kelm. And okay, so you didn't say the title of the song anywhere in the lyrics. So I know that's something you do quite often, right?
Yes.
So why? Why do you do that?
I don't really know why that happened. It just happens a lot. Well, I think a lot of times it's just... Sometimes I feel like it's more interesting to do when the song is taken straight out of... Most people name it straight out of the chorus.
Right.
You know, it's mostly... Usually it's the hook. And I don't know, I feel like it... Well, it's about memories, and then, you know, just looking, you know, this song in particular, you know, Fireflies, like childhood.
Yeah.
Because the song starts out
And Whiskey
as
Bottles
childhood,
is
and
more
Whiskey
later
Bottles
in
is
life.
Later in life.
Yeah.
I guess.
See, that's one thing I always have found interesting about you, Lucas, is your uniqueness. And that is just one part of that. Like, you know, I'm not going to name the song after the hook. Like, that's really cool. I find your guitar playing to be extremely unique. For East Texas, Lucas is extremely unique in your storytelling. Actually, I mean, each song feels like a damn chapter in a book. It's cool as shit, man. Like, I really dig it. So
Appreciate that.
I know from knowing a little bit about you that your background in music comes from church.
Yes.
And seeing you here today as a wordsmith, completely different than church music. I've got to know how that happened for you. Like, how did you get from A to B there?
Well, yeah, like I said, like you, like I guess you know, but yeah, I started playing guitar because I could sing, and then I started playing guitar to lead worship. I led worship for years in church. That's where I started, and I don't know where the turnaround happened. Kind of got kicked off a worship team, and then you know and then we just started, and I started writing songs, and it just happened. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
You know, because for songwriting for me is, you know, I'm good at collaborating with people, but for me songwriting, because I can't sit down. I can't sit down and write a song.
Yeah.
I can't just. Some people can just sit down and write a song for anything. For me, songwriting is more of a cosmic thing.
Yeah.
For anybody who's creative, you know when it's supposed to happen.
I've heard this before.
You know, like you
almost feel like you're a
feeling.
conduit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've had some experiences over the last, especially revelations over the last couple of years, especially that's truly what it is. Mm-hmm. And there are, you know, and obviously songwriting is a practice. Still is a practice that you can refine. And there's, you know, some people who can, like I said, can sit down and play G, C, and D and sing you a song.
Right.
And it sounds like a real song.
So for you...
but for me, it's more like I have a feeling in my spirit, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like, I have to get my guitar right now.
Wow.
It's time.
Yeah.
And, you know, the majority of my songs are written in one sitting. Like, it just happens at one time.
Wow.
Because a lot of times if I start writing a song, most of the time it's hard for me to go back to that moment and start it
and
again.
feel it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah. That's interesting. I find that interesting because that has to be there from the time you're born, I would imagine. But for whatever reason, it wasn't until you really started to figure out that, hey, I'm being called to write songs. That's what this is. So I'm feeling like, looking back, kind of envisioning where you are as a worship leader and all that, that's already there in you. But once you stop the worship team kind of stuff, that's when you start songwriting. So what was it like prior to that to kind of get those artistic feelings out of the way? Because they had to be there, right?
Yeah. You didn't mean before, like back when my church days?
Yeah, just before you actually sat
See,
down.
I don't
and wrote
know
a
if I
song.
really knew what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a thing back then.
Right.
Because I never wrote any worship songs. I was never a songwriter then. But I had some friends and I had a band for a while. And when I first started playing, my first songs were written for a band that I started, Lucas for Sheriff, back in 2003. And some friends pretty much forced me to do it. Wow. They heard me, one friend in particular, but he just heard me singing in the lobby and at church, and was like, "Hey, we should start a band." I was like, "All right."
That's usually how
and
it
then
starts.
and then that's when I wrote my first song.
Wow.
After that decision was made, and then it just went from there, And for me, songwriting, it comes in chunks. I'm not prolific by any means.
That's your own opinion, by the way. I disagree.
I will write a song. Like I'll write a couple songs in a few months, and then it could be. I've had gaps of 4 years of not writing anything. Right. For me, and it's a struggle because during those times you feel like you don't feel like an artist.
Now, guys, I've been extremely blessed to be privy to a lot of the genius that is Lucas Kelm as it happens. A lot of times he'll write a song, and as soon as he's done writing it, he'll send me a rough recording of it through Facebook. I love that, by the way. Keep those coming. I look forward to the next one all the time. But I imagine as someone who, you're not an older guy. You're, maybe late 20s, early 30s?
No, I'm 37.
Okay.
Older than you thought.
Like I said, late 30s?
I'm way older than everyone thinks.
Okay.
No, I know. No.
But even still, not a lot of life experience either. So, I mean, if you're sitting around and you feel that conduit, cosmic feeling coming through you, I've noticed as a fan of yours that some of the songs can really feel true to you, like something you lived. But a lot of the songs are outside of what you could have lived at all. A lot of them are real deep storytelling songs. Like The Mountain that's coming up later in the show, where you're picturing a time and place where you could not have possibly been yourself. So what does that feel like as a songwriter when that is coming through you that you actually haven't experienced yourself? Because that would kind of freak me out a little bit, you know what I mean?
I think a lot of that comes from, I don't know how to write, what is it, subjectively? Write about my true feelings.
Right.
I don't know how to do it.
Right.
For some reason. I don't know if it's a lack of self-confidence or a lot of times when I do try, it always ends up, it just sounds cheesy. Yeah. I just can't do it. It's easier for me to write from a third-person perspective.
Wow.
Which is kind of strange.
Do you think that distance is just kind of helpful with your confidence? Kind of distancing yourself from the character within the song?
Yeah, it makes it easier. And like songs like The Mountain, I co-wrote that actually with my best friend's wife, which is weird to say. Yeah. But so we wrote it together, and she's a writer. She writes like novels. Okay. And she heard some of my past songs. It's like because she's my Robin Woodward is her name. Okay. So we wrote that together. So, I don't know what it is. I always do. The majority of my songs are not necessarily personal. Yeah. I have maybe one.
Okay.
that's actually personal. They're always about things that I've never, like, infidelity.
And you think that's
things like
you
that.
think that's mostly confidence driven, or do you think there's just some vulnerability there that you're not willing to share?
Probably.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it. But I don't know, because there's different things like that are masked within it.
Right.
Like
right.
my true feelings come out, like my beliefs or whatever you want to say, like on Fireflies and Whiskey Bottles in particular, like the whole crux of the song comes down to the last part of that third verse.
Right.
It says, I didn't stake much on Christ or God, but I'm proud of the way I live my life.
Yeah.
Like the whole song builds up to that one moment
Right.
of nakedness.
Yeah, that's
Of
vulnerability.
vulnerability.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of people like question that part of it. Like, what is that? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a whole can of worms.
Right.
Within that, we could talk for an hour just
And isn't
about
it neat
that
just
moment.
to have somebody question that for you, though, as a song that you wrote? Like someone is actually approaching you and saying, hey, man, I heard those 2 lines. I want to know more. Like, that's going to be a cool moment in itself.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. It usually leaves me speechless. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah. That gives me hope. That gives
don't
me
know.
hope. Because most people don't listen to music anymore, man.
Yeah, it's true.
They really don't. They don't hear it. They don't listen to it. It's all about mindless nonsense that you hear on the radio nowadays. None of it means
For sure.
anything anymore. And so when I see somebody like Lucas Kelm, man, it's mind-blowing to me, because I'm that guy, and my producer / fiance is the same way, that hears a line and we'll sit in the car for the next 3 hours debating about where the songwriter was when they wrote that line. Like, what did they mean?
What did they mean?
And was it this or was it that, or could it have been this? Like, I don't think there's too many people like that anymore, unfortunately,
Yeah. I think a lot of it too comes from the songwriters that I respect so much.
Right.
Like Bob Dylan, of course.
Right.
His songs are like scripture.
Yeah.
They can mean something different to you every time you hear
And
it.
they should be.
And
Speaking of that, I mean, we heard several takes of you today. I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but we heard several takes. And each take I heard you sing, it was a different song, man. Like, you're doing the song different each time.
Yes, I do that. And it's a habit I've been trying to break. It's hard for me to do.
I don't. I wouldn't.
I think, and I don't know why. I mean, speaking of Dylan's like that.
Yeah.
He destroys his own songs.
Right.
And sometimes you'll hear Lady...
Christopherson's that way, too.
Lady will play and be like, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Right.
And then you'll hear it, he's like that. And I do that, too, and it's not even on purpose.
Right.
It's not like I do rewrite things a lot, but...
There's just really succinct, like, under the radar kind of changes that you wouldn't hear.
Yeah, unless you've heard the song more than one time. Unless you've heard the song more than one time. And some people have talked to me about changing that because, especially, like, if I wanted to record.
Right.
Which whenever I do, like, I've been trying to figure out what the song is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my songs, they're always changing. They're always growing. I'll, rewrite the guitar part, put a different rhythm. I'll play the rhythm different.
Right.
And I think a lot of that comes from cutting my teeth leading worship.
Mm-hmm.
Is because, every... I have trouble not making each song an emotional experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like just singing it straight. This is the melody. I'm going to
connecting to the song.
I'm going to sing the melody this way every time.
Yeah.
And it never happens.
Right.
Never do it because I always get carried away.
Yeah.
By how I'm feeling at the time, or
that's the way it should be.
The vibe in the room.
Yeah. Because if you can't connect to the song, how can you expect your audience to?
That's true. It's very true. And sometimes that's good because it's never. I guess it's a good thing. Because you don't know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what the song's going to sound like. Am I gonna start yelling at you, or am I gonna be quiet?
Where's Lucas at tonight? Like, where's he at? Like, how's he feeling?
Because you heard me at
in Jefferson.
At the Jefferson. They were probably different that time than this
they
time.
were. They were. 100%.
You know? And a lot of that comes from amplification. Like when I'm plugged in on stage.
Well, that's a whole different.
Yeah,
that's a whole different ballpark.
But yeah, for me, like I try to do that. I want to be able to get him down to like a hook.
Yeah.
To where, because I do want to record, because I never have. Like, you know, other than at my house or at somebody's house.
Do you ever feel like you were born a century too late?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, like I feel like if I would have, even if it not even a century, 40 years. You know,
Yeah.
If I would have been.
I disagree with the 40 years. Like I feel like I can see you in an old west saloon. You know, like everybody's playing frickin' poker.
Honky tonk music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, yeah.
And you're just in the corner with 6 shooters on your sides, picking the guitar, making tips. You know. Like, I picture that for you. That's why when I heard the name of the band, Lucas for Sheriff, I was like, dude, like, even the band name has an Old West feel, man.
And I thought about bringing that back just to play under that moniker solo.
Yeah.
Just to be it.
I would, dude. I think it's cool.
But,
you're going to have, like, little bumper stickers made.
That's where it came from.
People will start voting for you, dude.
Yeah, that's
like,
where
you might actually become sheriff.
I've been actually asked around here before, like, what is this? Because the name came from a bumper sticker. I had a buddy who lives in Washington, and there was a guy named Gary Lucas running for sheriff there.
Okay.
And his stuff was Lucas for Sheriff.
Yeah.
You know.
So you just go to eBay and steal all his stuff.
And he sent me a box of bumper stickers from his campaign.
Nice.
And I put it on my first guitar. I put it on the guitar.
Nice.
And when we were first starting the band, we were, what are we gonna call it? I was like, let's just call it Lucas for Sheriff. I was like, that was more their idea. I was like, I don't know, that's pretty pretentious.
What was the band? What was the vibe and genre of the band?
Folk.
Really?
Mostly.
Okay.
Like there were several different iterations of it. Originally, it was like a 5-piece. It was me, acoustic and electric guitar, bass, drums, a person on Rhodes piano, and then a fiddle player.
Nice.
Originally.
Wow.
So it was a lot
a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts back then. But since then, it's then that fizzled out. So I've always just kind of like acquired different people.
What do you enjoy doing more? Fronting a band or just being out there by yourself? Now, I know that's a tough one.
I would say probably by myself. It's just easier.
Yeah.
It's because I don't have to worry about people being around
or being late
or
being there at all. Yeah.
But here I miss it. I do miss it. I miss the energy. I miss especially playing places. Just the energy of playing a show with a band.
Yeah.
I miss that, and I miss the camaraderie of practice. Half the times our practices we wouldn't even play any music.
Yeah.
We just sit on the porch.
Yep.
And it was like a reason to drink.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I miss it too. I miss and hopefully it does come back around. I have some people I'm on the verge of talking to. I haven't made any like offers or anything like that.
You're not hitting up Craigslist yet.
No, not like that. No, I don't. I won't need to do that. I have people kind of.
I would hope not.
There's a few people that are just kind of waiting for me to green light it.
Yeah, yeah.
And some talented people, who've more weathered than I am, more experienced than me.
I hope it happens, man. I really do. Now, Lucas has been doing this a long time. He's been part of the East Texas music scene for over 15 years. And you've been kind of under the radar around here for a long time.
Yes, the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
Still.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've known about Lucas for a good year and a half. So you've been on my radar for a long time, even though you're under the radar for most folks. We talking off camera about the indie scene in Tyler especially, which has been a flourishing thing for a very long time.
Yeah.
And you've been part of that forever. What changes have you seen over time in the East Texas music scene for the better, I would say?
For the better, I would say, well, And I don't know if it's because I have been under the radar, because it's, like you said, about a year and a half you've known me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been about a year and a half that I've been putting myself out there.
Right.
Like, it was probably last spring? Yeah, it was probably, well, I don't know, almost 2 years now. But I started to play out again. Because there was, like, I had the Lucas for Sheriff, the band, and we stopped playing. It's been about 5 years. And I pretty much didn't play at all for about 3. Maybe once every few months if somebody wrote me, asked me. And then I sat down and a buddy was like, hey, come over and sit in front of my microphone and record it. It's like, all right, cool. So I went over there and sat down and did it and then heard it back. I was like, whoa, all right, well, let me play this song. I've never heard this song. So I was playing songs that I'd written but never heard. So I didn't know if they worked.
Yeah.
If they were songs or not.
Yeah.
So, I was sitting there and I was like, play that back. I was like, oh. And then I sent those samples around. I don't know, this is not answering your question. But it got me back playing again. So I got back into the scene, and not even necessarily the indie scene, but trying to get out of that and branch out to playing, out of Tyler and things like that.
And we talked a little bit about that, about how hard it is to kind of get out of that almost a rotational rut where you're playing the same circle of venues or whatever it is and just trying to get in front of more people.
Yeah.
It's really tough for a solo songwriter.
It is. But it's easier now than it ever has been.
Yeah. It's become
and I don't know
more.
if it's because was just not savvy to what was going on.
Right.
But it seems like right now it's the level of songwriters. There's so many good songwriters in East Texas.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I don't know if I just didn't know about it or if it's a special time.
Right.
I feel like it's a special time.
I agree with you. And I think there's a lot more venues that are more open to the solo acoustic kind of thing. I'm even seeing it on Monday nights, like Fridays and Saturdays, which
just having a single dude up
yeah,
there.
just a single dude sitting on stage picking a guitar, and I mean that's a risky thing to do for a venue on a Friday night.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'll go into a place like that with one guy up there, and the place will be packed out, and it gives me hope, man. It's like finally, people are starting to get this. And you don't have to play Wagon Wheel or Freebird or, Tennessee Whiskey or none of those songs.
Right, yeah.
Like, people legitimately want to hear something new now, and that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, as long as there's somebody over 50 in the crowd, I got it. I got them every time. If I walk in somewhere and it'll be, if there's one old couple sitting there, I'll be like, all right, okay, I'll sing to these people.
Right.
Because I get them 100, almost 100% of the time I can get them.
Do you think the younger generation don't get you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Do you lose sleep over that?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, I don't. I don't know. Yeah, but back to the music scene, it is special. And I feel like, I've been talking to a few different songwriters in the area that, trying to collaborate with them because I feel like it is a special time. And what if we're sitting on something special, and it's not happening, especially in regards to starting a band.
Yeah.
It's like, what if we're sitting on something here and it's not happening because we're not trying? What if we're sitting on Fleetwood Mac 0.2,
Just never
2.0,
know.
and it's not happening because we're just not doing it.
Yeah.
Because nobody's asking.
Do you struggle with confidence a lot? Does that, what I mean by that, does that hold you back?
Not when I'm actually playing.
Yeah.
Like when I'm actually on stage, I don't really struggle with it. But more so when it comes to booking and like selling myself to places.
Or just taking the next step?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. It's a scary thing because I don't have time to be poor. I don't have that. Because I got married and 2 kids.
Yeah, you're a family man as well.
Yeah, so I have to. So yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, everything you do is a risk in itself, just to keep the babies fed, keep the wife happy, the roof over your head, and all that stuff. So you really can't afford to make a misstep.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
So it's but I think my confidence has definitely grown, especially as a musician, for sure.
Yeah.
As
because you're a completely different guy on stage than you are off it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It's not. It's not
It's
at
not
all.
weird. It's almost like a character.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Boston Chris is a character, believe it or not. I'm very introverted.
Yeah.
Usually.
Me too.
People don't know that.
Yeah. Because I can sometimes be a little bombastic when I'm up there.
I think you're kind of eccentric at times too, man. I dig it. Like
Sorry.
what was that like blanket or something you brought with you? To Jefferson?
I do that. Almost brought it in here today.
Yeah,
it's like my
people were watching you set that up, and okay, just to give some context, guys, we had a 4-way song swap, and all different kinds of music. It was the first time ever that we had 4 guys from 4 different states too, which was pretty neat. And so Lucas gets there and he's draping like this big old blanket over his
saddle
bar
blanket.
stool. Yeah, a saddle blanket. And I mean, the other 3 guys are just looking at him like,
who is that?
who's this guy?
What is
like,
he? What does he think he is?
Yeah. The guy from Oklahoma.
I always bring my own microphone.
Yeah. The guy from Oklahoma was like, well, is this guy for real? I was like, just trust me, he's worth it. And by the end of the night, you guys were all boys.
Oh,
man.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was a great show. And so I think that eccentricity kind of makes you who you are, too. Like, Heather says it all the time, man. Weird is a good thing. We were talking a little bit about Heather Little, and she says that all the time. Being weird is a good thing. But yeah, Lucas Kelm is here for the first time. No, he's not running for sheriff. You don't have to vote for him or anything like that. It's been too long in getting you here. And my favorite song that Lucas does is a song called The Mountain. We talked a little bit about it earlier in the show. And I kind of alluded to being born too late. And the song kind of reminds me of you being born too late, because this would have been a huge song back in the late 1800s or
Woody
early
Guthrie
1900s.
sing it.
Yeah. So tell us how this one came about.
Like I said, I co-wrote it with my best friend's wife, and it's grown over time. It's it's just what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how it came about. It's long.
It's a story.
Yes, there's no chorus.
Mm-hmm. No structure.
Not really.
Sometimes you rhyme, sometimes you don't. It's a great tune, man.
Thanks.
And it's that lack of structure that I really love about the song. Like, honestly, it felt to me like you guys just wrote a song about however you were feeling or whatever was being broadcasted, behind your eyes, and it didn't matter if it rhymed. It didn't matter where it went.
The imagery of the
exactly
trying to paint a picture.
Yes.
Yeah. Almost like it doesn't even. That's what I'm talking about with songs. Is like songs with songwriting. Like, I don't feel like songs are really written. I feel like they're given to you a lot of times. Not every song, but certain songs are. I feel like that's one of them for me. But, like you mentioned songs like Wagon Wheel.
Yep.
Like that song, it's been, driven in the ground. Dirty Circuit kind of stole it from everybody. Mm-hmm. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But I still play it. I will play it, especially if no one's paying attention to me.
Wow.
So I'll still whip it out.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to see
and
that
I always introduce, like, I'm about to take this song back, and I'll sing it. But that's a song, like, like it's kind of mythical now. That even, like, how that song even came to be. Like, the room, like, with Dylan writing. Dylan wrote part of it, and then Old Crow Medicine Show finished it somehow, or something like that. But
and then it got beaten into the ground.
But it's been beaten into the ground. But songs like that, it's a. You know it the first time you hear it. Mm-hmm. You can sing along the first time. And that's my goal. I want to write songs like that.
Yeah.
Like I want one of my songs to be public domain one day. Mm-hmm. That's to me that's songwriting.
That's a good goal to have. That's a really good goal to have.
Like John Prine, like some of his songs, even though it's not yet, but they will be.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
He's still kicking.
Yeah.
He's still killing it. His last album was incredible
too, man.
But his song Paradise, the Muhlenberg County song, or like Sam Stone. But like, songs like that, like, I don't even know what I'm talking about now.
So,
lost
guys,
myself.
I gotta preface this a little bit. The first time I ever heard The Mountain, I think, was maybe 5 minutes after he played it for the first time in his bedroom. He recorded it.
Oh
sent it
yeah,
to
that
me.
was like the original. Yeah.
And he said, "Hey Boston, take a listen to this. Tell me what you think." And Lucas tends to be a night owl like myself, and he knows it's okay to message me in the middle of the night. But this came through at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning on my messenger, and it legitimately got me sitting up out of bed. That's how good it was. I was like, "Oh my God!" And he's just like, "It's really rough. I hope you like it," and blew me away, man. I don't know if it was just because I was laying in bed and it was dark and it was like kind of that mood or that aura behind the song and it being dark and late at night. And I'm just really excited for you guys to see this song. The song's called "The Mountain" by the one and only Lucas Kelm. Y'all check it out.
When I was a child, I worked the land in the sun. Was dreaming of a life without pain. My parents, they were fair, doing the best that they could. Looking back, I had no right to complain. And a cold blew over the mountain, bringing cold that froze up the ground. Mama died, she died up on the mountain. She was buried in her wedding gown. I grew straight and tall before the toil broke my back, while my daddy, he did more than his share. When he closed his eyes for the very last time, I wept and moaned, crying life just wasn't fair. And a storm had raged east of the mountain. I knew I just couldn't stay, so I left my home upon the mountain for adventure and far, far away. Now wastrel I was drawn to the city, where I found a girl that I adored. She wanted life in the country. Before long my fear of home, it was cured. So we fled the lights of the city for a life living wild on the land. In the pines we nurtured our love dear, built a home by Gracewood stand. We had 3 good years and a child that we loved, a boy with eyes as clear as the sky. But honey, it was sweet, sheep safe in the fields, and the corn it grew as good as the rye. Cold blew into the valley, it's howling, you've got a debt to pay. And death stole over the mountain and snatched my poor baby away. My wife, she stayed as long as she could, drifting away. Begged her to stay, but her grief was too great. With an aching heart I said I understood. And the pain, it pressed down like a mountain. Lord, how much could it weigh? God has cursed this forsaken mountain, so alone here I am gonna stay. I toiled on the land, working each passing day. My body and my hair grew thin. Frost sank deep in the vine, and disease took its toll. My well ran dry, I knew I'd never win. Oh, and my friend Death, he climbed over the mountain. He was comforting me with his embrace, while I stood on top of the mountain, sunlight shining right on my face.
So guys, that was The Mountain by the one and only Lucas Kelm, a guy I feel was born a century too late for sure, and that song is definitely proof in the pudding of that for sure. But Lucas, if people are hearing about you for the first time, where can they follow along with everything you got going on?
All right, well, I got Lucas Kelm on music on Facebook is the main spot to find me, I guess, for booking or anything like that.
Right.
You can message me through there. And then Lucas for Sheriff on Instagram is the main two spots.
Okay.
That's it.
And it's LUCASKELM.
Yep.
So just remember that, and we'll put the Facebook page
And
in
then,
the description below as well.
Like you were saying earlier, if you do get on there and everything like that, you will receive things from me on occasion.
Yeah.
I send out messages quite often of songs because I don't have anything necessarily for sale recorded.
And those are cool gifts to get, guys.
So
I can attest.
Whenever I'm sitting at home playing my guitar, I record it every time. And every once in a while, there'll be a good one.
Yeah.
And I send it out. So if you're there, yeah, you'll get one. You'll get random things.
You'll definitely want
probably
to hit that.
Waiting for you in the morning unless you're up, unless you're awake.
He's up in the middle of the night. He works the graveyard shift, so that's when he's awake, guys. But definitely hit that like button over there because you'll get to see where Lucas is playing and all of the new stuff that he has going on. Hopefully we can get Lucas into the studio soon enough because, we all need to have Lucas Kelm CDs.
Yes, needs to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't have very much money.
Yeah, I feel you. I might give you a recommendation to somebody who might be able to help you with the financial part of it. But definitely follow along with him. We'll have his social media linked in the description below. Click on that, hit the like button. It's completely free to do that, and it supports the artist so much. Just hit that like button, guys. If you're tuned into the ETX ROCKS Show for the first time, we definitely want to thank you guys for hanging out with us today as well. We're located on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at ETX ROCKS. We had to shut the MySpace down about 14 years ago.
Okay. When?
I got him.
You got me. I'm probably the most gullible person you'll ever meet.
I don't know. I think Chrissy just looked at her uncle and was like, "What's MySpace?"
What?
Are you her uncle? Oh man, dang it! I took a shot in the dark, guys. I'll pull all of that out. No. Also, if you're listening on our audio podcast, we definitely thank you. But we're also located on high definition video over there on the YouTube. So you need to check that out. We're very good looking bearded men over here. And you wouldn't know that if you're just listening. So check out the YouTube. And while you're over there, hit that subscribe button and the little bell to the right that'll help notify you when we have new content uploaded, which is quite often. I think we have like 1,700 videos on YouTube now. All live music, in-depth interviews, all kinds of good stuff from people you know and people you may not. And that's both of those are very important if you're a music fan. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell. YouTube has you clicking all kinds of stuff over there. We hope you click them all. We are also completely self-funded on the show, which means we could use your help. We do have a donate link set up at www.paypal.me/ETX ROCKS. And we'll take any amount of money today. Usually we put a cap on it at like $2,000, but we'll take $2,200 or more now. So
Darn.
Yeah, I know.
You have to put a cap on it?
No,
No.
we just do that to be funny.
Okay.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Just depends on what amount I say. You know, it's like, oh, okay. We'll take $1 million in yen too, which is like $7.99 here in America, but. That's a combo at McDonald's now. Remember when combos were cheap?
Yes.
Yeah, now it's like, no. Can't even get a good meal at McDonald's anymore for $4. Unless it's breakfast.
Breakfast is still cheap.
Oh, yeah, breakfast you can get it going. But for us, that doesn't work. We're up overnight, sleeping during the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't ever.
I ain't seen McDonald's breakfast since I was like 30, okay? Well, that's not true because they serve it all day now. Way to go.
Do they really?
McDonald's, yeah. They serve certain
I like that
portions of the
steak, egg,
menu.
and cheese bagel, man.
Yeah, I don't know if that's one of the items they serve.
It's good.
But yeah. Who knew we were going to talk about McDonald's and we're not even sponsored by them? I mean, what the hell? Come on, step up to the plate. We'll take more than $2,200 now.
Give me some
these.
vouchers.
Right. Vouchers. Those were the days.
Or the Monopoly. They had Monopoly. They still do that?
Yeah, every once in a while. I don't
That's
think it
people
works,
that are
though.
freaks about that.
Yeah, you never win anything but, like, you know,
Free
a small
fries.
drink or something.
Free fries.
Like, what is that? Like, I want a small drink at McDonald's. Yay. That's Facebook worthy, right? I don't know. It's because of you guys' contributions out there that we recently launched a massive website over at etxrocks.show where you can find all kinds of stuff, guys. There's over 10,000 hours of content over there, including all 600 plus live performances here in the living room. All 3 of Lucas's songs will be on there by the end of the day today as well. There's like a little internet radio playlist in there, all genres of music, over 600 songs. So if you're just running down the road and you're tired of listening to mainstream radio, etxrocks.show has you covered. So check that out. And as we always say on the ETX Rock Show, we want to thank you guys out there for always supporting live music of all genres and all styles. And don't ever forget,
ETX rocks.
Got a tank full of gas and a rifle full of shells. I'm gonna shoot my banker down. They'll kick and they'll scream as I ride away, but I'll leave town a richer man today. So give my love to Polly Ann. Oh, and tell her that I love her till the end. There's money hidden above the stove that will last her till I get home. Oh, when I get home, I won't be such a terrible man. close life for everyone I know. They killed it just to watch their wallets grow. For this land I've worked, for this land I've bled. They don't give a cuss about a working man. So give my love to Polly and and tell her that I'll love her till the end. There's money hidden above the stove that will last her till I get home. Oh, but when I get home, I won't be such a terrible man. There's miles and miles of cars that pointed toward the west. They're headed down over Route 66. Heard whispers of work, of our dreams going true. Honey, that's what I want to give to you. So give my love to Polly and oh, tell her that I'll love her till the end. There's money hidden above the stove that will last her till I get home. When I get home, won't be a terrible man.
From the unknown to the stars, from the couch to the car, from the unheralded and the unheard, to the legends and beyond, it's where we all belong. Yes, this is where it all starts. From every genre, from every plane, this is where the music's played. So tune right in, won't you bring a friend? This is where it all begins. Welcome to the show, let the music flow of every style and creed. And you can bet your socks that ETX